I went virtually straight into working for a drama and education company called the Playhouse in Birmingham. And that incorporated, there was 3 companies at the time. There was a company called Language Alive, which taught primary schools around Birmingham and the Midlands, and Catalyst, which was a theatre and health education company under the same umbrella as the Playhouse that did health education up and down the country, and Dance Alive, which was a dancing education company. So yeah, I was the trainee administrator for about 6 months straight from university, and then I got taken on as a full-time administrator, and I was there for 3 years. Yes, my experience talking to touring theatre companies before I even went into my official drama training and volunteering for companies was really useful. Even though I didn't know for sure how to apply that, my vocational training at university was fantastic, grounding in how to sort of go out there and do it. Even at the very basic, it was knowing what you had to do to get out there. You had to talk the work, you had to create your own work, and how to basically try and sell that. And even though that was cushioned at university, at college, it was really great. And so when I went into my first job at the Playhouse in Birmingham, I knew that in order to create my own work and work for a company that toured, which is what I actually needed to do, I needed experience on the job as an administrator. So yeah, it was a great grounding. Well, I'm also an independent producer, predominantly tour booking for various companies. I've got about 5 shows at the moment that I'm tour booking for, with respective dates up and down the country. I do some development fundraising work for other organisations. I work for House of Suarez. I'm doing some tour booking for Temesis, for shows called, for a company called Little Soldier Productions, which are based in London. So I do a bit of everything, so a little bit of admin, but predominantly making those phone calls and selling the work for other companies to try and get good UK tours. Getting up and going to bed at whatever time I go to bed. They're the 2 most normal things throughout the day. The rest is having a plan, having to prioritise certain things, and then dealing with things as they come up and shifting your priorities about. So there's never a similar day. There's an awful lot of leaving messages for people and things, but in the middle of doing my tour booking and trying to make phone calls, it's dealing with things that come up from company members and from various clients that I'm working for. So there isn't a normal day, but my whole life is sort of normal in a weird way. I've absolutely adored the Spike shows that I've worked on. They've been absolutely brilliant, and it's great to sit there in the auditorium and say, I had a definite hand in creating this work and helping making it happen and everything. So that's a great experience. Theatre experience as an audience, there have been many, many, many ones. I really liked a show called Twilight of the Idols by a performer called Dickie Bow that happened at the Homotopia Festival at the Unity Theatre last autumn. That was really inspiring. It was predominantly mine, with a sort of soundtrack lip-synced by a transgender performer called Dickie Bow, and that was really inspiring and really beautiful to watch. But there are many others that I'm leaving out. I went to see a dance showcase at Contact Theatre in Manchester last week, and that was voguing in New York, and there was Darren Suarez from the House of Suarez was voguing alongside Javier Ninja in New York, live by satellite on stage, projected on a screen. And it was just amazing. And then there were sort of solo dance improvisation pieces and stuff, and it really, really blew me away. It was inspiring, really, really beautiful and exciting to watch. So that was really great. I like watching cabaret and things. I like performance art, live art. So it's really difficult. As a child, it was probably something like watching Danny LaRue as pantomime dame at the pantomime at the Birmingham Hippodrome walk down in a brilliant outfit at the end of the panto. So that was one of the big highlights that I remember. If I think about theatre, or I think about the dancers in panto and that first experience that I had. So the big glamour and glitter is always a bit of a draw for me, but I just really appreciate the smaller scale stuff as well. Sink or Swim is a piece of devised theatre ultimately, but it's got a fantastic script now through Bob Farquhar. And it is about 3 men in a boat. 3 men in a lifeboat in the middle of the ocean, The original inspiration behind it was the 18th century Bedlam ships, and the ideas and the story has progressed in the devising. So I know there's an officer, an able seaman, and a swab hand, I think he's called, and it's these three crew members who find themselves in a lifeboat and their experiences on the ocean. And the reason I'm being really vague is that there's a whole load of marketing speak behind the show, which is all brilliant, and we're hoping it's going to sell the show to people, but it's a devised show which, from what I've seen in rehearsal, is incredibly funny, with three incredibly brilliantly talented performers, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the show on the opening night, because then I'll be able to go, I'll tell you what it's about now. Get some training. Do a degree for what it's worth, even though I think that's going to put you in a massive amount of debt at the moment, more so than it did me when I was at university. Get some training behind you, but also you can't work in theatre unless you go to see theatre. You've got to go and see how people do it, whether it's at the Liverpool Empire, the big #1 touring house, whether it's at the Unity in a 150-seater studio, whether it's here at the Playhouse and the new Everyman after 2014. Go and see whatever theatre that you can get to see, because you need to see how other people do it, and then try where you can to volunteer and work and talk to people in theatre and ask them questions and get some hands-on experience of doing it. Really volunteer your services, but get some training and try and get a degree for what it's worth behind you, or some vocational training, a BTEC at HND. That was the best bit of training that I ever did, because it just really gave me great grounding. So training, watching theatre, and volunteering, and getting your face out there and networking